for a one-day common victular and entertainment license. The application for the one-day license is to be exercised at the Wayland School on Saturday, June 20th, 2020, from 1 p.m. to 7 p.m. The event will be an annual Moroccan Cultural Day Festival. This is a continuation from our February meeting. Before we make any discussions about this, I would like to read into the record the letter that the commission received from Ward 6 City Councilor Richard Serino. And the letter was dated May 17th, 2020. To the honorable members of the Revere License Commission. I write to your honorable body once again regarding Masir's application for a one-day common victular and entertainment license. I thank you for tabling the matter for consideration at your last meeting and for your consideration today. After taking more time to consider this matter, although the Moroccan Cultural Day celebration would be a wonderful event under normal circumstances, I still have serious concerns about moving forward with this festival at the Wayland School in June in light of COVID-19. And I again cannot support the approval of this license today. As a city councilor at this moment, I do not feel comfortable with the idea of approving such a potentially large gathering of between 500 and 1,000 people in the city, and especially in my ward. Although we are tending in the right direction in terms of dealing with this pandemic, in 4 weeks' time, I do not think we will be in a place where we are holding large festivals. In a time when graduation ceremonies, weddings, concerts, etc., are still being put on hold through June, a festival with potential of so many attendees is not something I can advocate for at this juncture. As social distancing guidelines and bans on gatherings are gradually lifted in a phased approach, I think we need to remain cautious. After thoughtful consideration, and in my humble opinion, it remains imprudent to approve this license at this time for a June festival. I would respectfully ask for Masir postpone this event to the fall or to next year. Again, although I am in support of the plan and concept under normal circumstances, I feel it would be irresponsible to approve a gathering of this magnitude within the next 4 weeks. Thank you for your consideration, and thank you, Masir, for the wonderful work they are doing in our community with regard to making masks for our residents as we continue to protect Revere from this virus. Sincerely, Richard J. Serino, Revere City Councilor, Ward 6. And so that is the opinion of Councilor Serino. Is anybody want to speak on behalf of Masir Center?
I was having some issues with the technology. If you give me 1 second.
I'm sorry, sir. I didn't hear you from the beginning. Could you repeat that, please?
I said I was having some issues logging in. If you allow me just 1 second.
Oh, sure.
Right.
Oh, great. Thank you.
So I wouldn't disagree with Councilor Sereno.
Excuse me 1 second, sir. Your name and address for the record, please.
Rashid Mokhabir, 592 Beach Street.
Very good. Continue, please.
So I'm not disagreeing with Councilor Sereno. We are not looking to do this festival next month. We understand that it's not the right time. We are still working with Revere Emergency Response Team, supporting them with a numbers of efforts. We are still seeking funds for our city to fight against the coronavirus. We understand that, No question is asked about it. And I believe that it's right there. We are just asking for a contingent approval, and he's approving it. It seems like by reading the letter, it seems like he's giving us a contingent approval, meaning we are not willing to do it next month, but once when things goes back to normal, we are allowed to do it. That's my reading and my understanding of his letter.
Yes, well, the way I read it is he supports in theory, the festival, but he's concerned about June. Hang on a second. Do any of my fellow commissioners have any? Yes, Linda.
Hi, I totally agree with the ward councillor, and I also agree with the previous speaker. I know about the festival, and it is a great thing for the city. Under different times, there would be no problem approving this license. But right now, I think we have to look at the governor and work with the governor. He's put down guidelines that right through June, there will be no large gatherings. And to the point where today he's opening the beaches and the towels have to be 12 feet apart, not even 6, 12. So he's getting a lot stronger on his regulations. But I don't think, and as the letter said, and as this commission, that we're saying, no, we don't want it. We're saying, when is it safe? The mayor is still saying we're getting 10 to 15 more cases a day. We are surrounded, unfortunately, by communities that are very high in the COVID fight. So at this time, I just can't see even considering a June festival. In the future, as they said, we can look at it for the fall. I have no problem in the fall, but let's go by the high school. Are they going to have, going to be able to open up? Are they going to have times for the kids? I think right now we have to set some kind of boundaries. Who is going to come in and do this? 1,000 people at this point, I just can't see it. I do not say no to this applicant. I do say no to the timing.
I'll have to agree with that, Commissioner Granasso. Same type of deal. It's nothing to do with the event. It has to do with the timing. Obviously, June 20th does not work, in my opinion. Cannot work. So based on this specific request or application, and based on it's for a specific date, I could not support this at this time.
Very good. Well, what if, obviously the June, sir, are you opposed to having this at another time, or do you want, how would you guys feel about approving it without the June date and approving it on the basis of when it's safe enough, he can have the event?
That's what I have been asking for since the coronavirus started.
I understand that, sir.
Yeah, that's what I have been asked. That's what I asked in the last meeting. I asked for, if you allow me to speak, I would explain it.
Okay, go ahead.
So that's what I have been asking in the last.
I lost
people to hell. Even if you go to our website, it says the event has been postponed. But I don't understand that when the Commissioner Lacroix approved the Bossa Renegade, while it's the same type of event, except they are seeking a liquor license. To my understanding, you are telling me if we put alcohol in this, it will be reconsidered for the summer. But otherwise, it's not considered. So I personally and the Moroccan American community owe an explanation for Mr. Lacroix by telling me that the Boston Renegade event is well organized. I have never heard that. I was honored,
sir,
during the Moroccan Cultural Day.
Excuse me, just stick with your
Yeah, exactly. No, it's the same. It's the same matter because I don't see, because when I see other people, if you allow me to speak, I will explain my opinion.
Okay.
So when I see other people are receiving a contingent approval in 5 minutes, and I'm wasting my time, to be honest with you, I should be doing something else. I work as a technical service manager for a medical device company, servicing all of these medical devices all over the world. I work for a nonprofit organization, volunteering my time, and I work also for the city and the emergency response team. When you are keep bringing me to these meetings for 3 months for no reason, because you asked for 10 approvals, I got all the approvals. The Boston Renegade wasn't asking for one. So I need an explanation for this. I'm coming here to teach me how to not waste my time and do not waste your time as well. Because if I keep coming here for 3 months for no reason, something is wrong, and I'm relying on you to teach me what's the right thing to do. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Yes, Commissioner Guanasso.
I don't think, I think for some reason he's taking it a little personal. I don't think this would have been an issue at all had it not been for the coronavirus. I think you've proven yourself. You've had this time before on Shirley Ave. You've had no problems.
Yeah.
As far as the Renegades, I don't want to bring up another license commission. It's not fair, as I wouldn't want someone to speak about yours. And as you can tell, she has not been able to go forward with what was proposed. Today, I'm looking at a calendar and it says June 20th for the date. That's all I'm speaking about, is what is the application is today. I have no problem with postponing this and say you want to do it in the fall. I have no problem with that. I would have a problem if the governor turned around and said, we're spiking again. This is all due to the coronavirus, nothing to do with your application. I think it's a great thing for our city, but we have to be extremely careful, especially as you know, we're very high with the coronavirus count right now. But I don't think it has anything to do with, I'm looking at the application, sir, which just says June 20th. So you're saying you've already said you don't want the 20th. Okay, so then I will take that off of here, the 20th. And if you're looking for a later date contingent, I'm sure if this were to come to a vote and it was contingent and you said in the fall, and God forbid, this should escalate, this coronavirus, the governor would step in, and of course we couldn't do it anyways. So, I mean, if you're looking for a postponement of the June 20th, well, then I'm looking at it differently today, okay? I think the ward councilor said that he was okay postponing it. But again, you know, we've postponed a graduation in June. We're not gonna go through what had to be postponed. So it's just a matter of time. It's not to do with any particular event. And I have no problem looking at it in the fall. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner.
I just want to respond a little bit. I'm not going to go back and forth between, you know.
Before you do, John, could I just ask Councilor Novoselsky has checked
Sure.
in, if we could hear from the councilor, if you don't mind? Would that be all right?
Absolutely.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I did send you a text. I didn't get the information until just now about the meeting, but you know, I support this application, and you know, honestly, you know, you're all good folks. I know you look out for the best for the city, but I got two parts to my situation here. Rashid always runs a good show, and I know everybody's concerned about the situation with the COVID, but honestly, I think that's more of a Board of Health issue than it is a License Commission issue. You know, they're just looking for a license. Now, the Board of Health won't let them run it if they want it June 20th. I'd give them an open application, like the chairman said before, and approve it. Let the date come up later on when the Board of Health allows it. You know, I was very disappointed with the Renegades because, you know, just because they're a business and running a big professional football team, you know, that should not have been approved. You know, it's a liquor situation. it's a beer and wine situation. They can't have it anyways. And what you did with them, you allow them to have it, but they're not going to be able to have it with the situation going on. Do the same thing with this gentleman. Give the guy a break. You know, he's looking for something and he knows he's going to have to delay it. He's looking to have it, and the date could be determined later on. You know, it's a good situation. Like I said, I was disappointed before because it's, you know, good for one and not good for the other, because allegedly they're a business. This is a community activation situation. You know, and I would kind of give it an open ticket and let the Board of Health decide when he can have it, when it's open. So that's my play right now. I respect everybody and you know, their opinion, but I think this should go through with an open date to be determined by the Board of Health. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor.
So I just made a couple of comments.
For 1 second, please.
Sorry,
John.
just a couple of comments.
John.
I'm sorry, is it me?
Yes, go ahead.
At the floor, okay. So, like I stated last time, when you started getting the approvals or going to all the departments, Board of Health and Fire and what have you, that was done prior to the COVID. This was done in January, February. I asked you to go back. Now that this COVID is going rampant, you refused. And I don't think it requires a lot of work to go back to get these pre-approved again. You didn't do that. I don't know why. It doesn't require other than emails or a quick phone call. So I would like to see that first. Now that we're in a different situation, no one's even taken that into consideration. When were those approvals done? And the approvals were done in late January, early February, to my best knowledge, before the COVID went rampant. So before you start accusing us against one against the other, it's a little different. The football
It's not.
approved many last year, and you can shake your head, but that's the fact.
Yeah.
I want
Wrong.
no, it isn't wrong. The fact
It's
the approvals was done in a
discriminating
different
against this
period.
group.
Counselor, please.
Don't accuse me of discriminating. All I'm asking is to go back and ask for the fire and police to go back, and we're in a different zone. We're in a different time frame now.
Why?
Because it's different.
Counselor,
Situation is different.
It's not different.
What am I missing?
yes,
I'm
Commissioner
wrong. All right.
Guanasso.
Hey, I just want to make a clarification. Counselor Ivan Novoselsky, I did not vote for the Renegades license. That's
You're
number
right.
one. And I will tell you, it didn't make a difference anyways, because they're not going to have it. So whether we voted to pass it or we didn't, I understand that. As far as saying, well, he shouldn't be before the License Commission, yes, he should. When we give out a license, say to the carnival, they have carnival rides, you know. We give a license. Then if the Board of Health, the fire department, if someone walks in, they can shut them down. But you still can't bypass the Revere License Commission. You have to come up for approval. So I mean, as a friend, just clarification. As far as the applicant, again, if you look at your agenda, it says for June 20th. That's what I'm against, is the June 20th. I am not against him. And I understand this is a lot of planning. It is a lot of planning for them. I have no problem if he wants to continue it or contingent in the fall, when we again hear from the governor, the ward councilor, the fire department, Board of Health, then they can come in at that point. I have no problem saying, okay, we can approve it contingent on how everything is in the fall. And that would mean Board of Health, fire department, of course, the governor. So I'm not saying we have a problem with that. I don't think we have a problem with it. We have a problem with the June date. So
Okay.
even
Exactly. I'm similar to, I have no problem with it. But again, we got to have them come back. These officials who are approving all this, they did it prior to COVID. Now we're in a different situation. So can we at least go back to them? And
I think that's putting too much of a burden on this gentleman, to be honest with you. This guy,
Okay.
has been going on for a while. And I really don't think that there's all that much to discuss. I mean, we give licenses contingent on approvals from departments every month. And this is no different. So if he's going to remove the date, which he said he already would, he wasn't planning on the June 20th date, then I think it's incumbent on us to grant this gentleman his license because it's a good situation. Everybody agrees with the fact that they like the cultural event. The only issue is the health and safety issue. And when we grant licenses, there is always final inspections after the setup, after the food is, where's the vendor going to be? All of these things have to be signed off prior. This is no different. So in my opinion, the gentleman should have his license so that he can make the proper planning and we can move forward from this, because it really is, it's not really on us. We give it the approval based upon the other agencies. And that's my position on it. So I would make a motion right now, although I think before I do that, I have to go and ask in the audience if there are any other proponents here. Is there anybody else that would like to speak on behalf of the cultural festival? I don't see or hear any, so we'll close that section.
Mr. Chairman, I think Ralph Chico was trying to get on.
Okay, good. I don't see him on the,
Just
On my-
popping on now.
I've been on, I just didn't let my video. Can you hear me now?
okay, yes, go ahead, Mr.
Wanted
DeChico.
to make a couple of comments on this. Thank you. I've been listening. I just want to make a couple of comments on this.
Okay, just your name and address for the record, please.
Yep, Ralph DeChico, Commission on Disabilities, Broadway, Revere, Massachusetts. I'm in favor of this, and I think it can be approved, as Councilor Novoselsky had mentioned, with no date on it. Things have been done on that, and this gentleman has done a lot for this community, and it can be contingent with an open date on it. It does not need to have a date on it. It does not need to go back to the fire department or any other approvals. There's nothing in the city ordinance that states that. It's already been done, and it does not need a date. So to keep delaying this gentleman for something that he's done for years, and he's an outstanding citizen and in person in this community is totally unnecessary. He's been doing this for 3 months now, back and forth, and taking his time. The date was on it because the original application had that date. He's clearly stated that it's not doing it that date. It just be an open-ended date. And of course, the Board of Health in the state delegation would have to lift all kinds of bans for it to be approved, but it can be approved with a contingency that the bans for displays of amount of people at locations, but it could just be passed and approved today without a specific date on it. It does not need to go get any other approvals and go back to the fire department or anybody else. It's all done. Nothing is changing, whether it's COVID or not. And I just wanted to make my point.
Okay, thank you very much for that.
Commissioner,
Yes,
just one more comment. I'm sorry that some people feel that they don't have to come to us and that they don't need prior approval. He is going to need prior approval. That doesn't mean what we do today. But we're saying we can do it in the fall. They're saying now that the school will be open in August. Hopefully the kids go back. So just to clarify, it seems like everybody's is kind of trying to make this a personal thing. This is not personal. This is taking a look of the feasibility of allowing him to do this, okay? So when he does, and if we go ahead with it today, and I agree with that, but let's not, there are rules and regulations. Yes, you have to have the sign-offs. Yes, the school's gonna have to approve it again. We do have to see all of that, or we're not doing our job. This is our job to make sure that we cross every T and dot every I. As far as the fellow wanting an open license, fine, but he still is going to have to get prior approval because things are going to change comes August and September. So let's not make this personal. We're doing the job here, and I think we do a good job. We look at everything. We try to be fair, and I think we're being very fair with this fella. I wish it wasn't this time what's going on. But I think this board is a fair board, and when we vote our conscience. And that's all I've got to say. I'm getting a little upset with people thinking that we're going with one group or the other. There are different circumstances for every single applicant.
Okay,
So
thank,
that's to say.
thank you, Commissioner. Yes, sir.
First of all, I want to thank Councillor Ira Novoselski for taking the time to talk about this. He's my ward councillor. He's been a great support for the last 3 events. Unfortunately, we could not do it at Shirley Ave because of the public work. Second, I would like to thank my fellow Ralph. He's been witnessing the work that I've been personally doing for the city of Revere. We meet with the Revere Emergency Response every single day. Third, we keep repeating ourselves. I'm not asking for a permit for June. I asked for June because when I put my application back in June, back in February, we didn't have any coronavirus. That's why you asked me for a date. I gave you a date. I was asked to put a date. I couldn't do it if I didn't ask for a date. When the coronavirus started, I did not ask for the permit. You asked me to come in to this meeting. I did not. But what I keep repeating is I was treated unfairly, and they have to make it to call names in here. Mr. Silvich was fair in his decision, and I respected that. Ms. Gunasso was fair in her decision, and I respected that. But Mr. Lacroix wasn't fair in his decision, and they have to mention that he did not ask the Boston Renegade for any permits, any approvals. He asked me for 10 approvals. I went out and I brought all of them. Then he's asking me to go back and ask all of these gentlemen who gave me approvals to make sure that they didn't change their minds. I have never seen that in my entire life. I do this work for the city of Revere as a volunteer. I'm an electronic engineer with an MBA in technology management. I could be making more money than the Boston Renegade is doing. But I'm doing this for my city, for the love of my city. I'm volunteering my time. I'm paying for $1,300 for my student loans, and I'm volunteering my education, my experience, my skills for the city of Revere. But I don't see it that I'm treated fairly. During the COVID-19, I brought $56,000 to the city, not to put it in my pocket, to spend it on masks, to spend it on food, to fight side by side with the mayor of the city of Revere in this current situation.
Well, we appreciate that, sir. And you know, it's really been one of the good things about to come out of this whole crazy epidemic, a pandemic, is the way that people have rallied together. So we appreciate that very much. Yes, I think we are.
The other thing that Mr. Lacroix mentioned, that our event is not organized, and the Boston Renegade that are very organized, but none in the city see things like that. Chief Guido attended our events many times. He doesn't have a similar opinion. Ira Novoselski attended our events many times. He doesn't have an opinion like this. I personally was honored at the city council when I organized the first Moroccan Cultural Day, but didn't honor the Boston Renegade because this Rashid Mokabir did an awesome job. The other thing, I sent Mr. Lacroix asking me because I didn't follow up on those approvals. You guys also didn't follow up on my request. I sent a letter to the mayor, CCing the city councilor, CCing the commission, how I feel about this, but no one followed up on me. Does that mean that we should seek justice outside the city?
Well, I'm not going to go there. I will say we'll close this part of the hearing. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, Chief.
I had my hand raised.
I'm sorry.
I'd just like to weigh in on this. I've been following it over the past several weeks. We've had many festivals down Shirley Ave during my tenure as the chief. There's never been an issue. There's never been a problem. Rashid's done everything we've always asked. I don't see why the commission wouldn't approve the permit for the festival with the caveat, not until, I guess, maybe the mayor's office or the Board of Health approves when this could take place after a certain date. And then once we know the time frame, then Mr. Rashid could pick the exact date and just notify the commission in writing and the police and the fire and everyone who helps him out, but he'll be ready to move forward. And the only thing will be the date is up in the air until it's safe to do so. And that can be deemed by the mayor's office and Kim Hanton and the COVID emergency committee. So that's my recommendation. And I want to thank Rashid for everything he's done for the city during the pandemic. And it's been a pleasure to work with him during my tenure as the chief. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Is there anything else?
So I guess that's what we're kind of asking, to get these other support, these other special services to come back and say, now the circumstances are different, to come back and say, when time comes, we'll be able to have this event. And that's kind of what we're saying, contingent upon the Board of Health, the fire, the police. So, and that's all I was asking, is if you could go back, because now it's a different situation. So, but now you're throwing other stuff, comparing the Renegade. A lot of it was, we were asking to go back to the services to see if they're okay with the times have changed. And Lieutenant, Chief Guido, I'm glad he's here. He just mentioned this, exactly what we were asking. Linda and I were asking anyway. So
I think Councilor Sereno is here also.
in Councilor Sereno, who sent the letter in. So to attack me directly, I think is unfair, number one, because I'm not going to approve something unless I have all support from all these services. And again, what was approved in January, February of this year is a little bit different what's going on today. So next time you challenge me, make sure you be fair on both ends, because again, nothing against your event. I'm sure it's great. Everybody I've talked to said it's great, but the circumstances are a little different. We just asked to go back and get another proof of approval, and that was it. So I took a little offense to some of those accusations. Just want to let you know.
Mr. Lacroix, please don't take it personal, because last time you had a different opinion. You were thinking that the Moroccan Cultural Day is not organized, and you have James Guido, who's been in these events for the last 3 years, is telling you a different opinion. Do you think we have never had one issue in our events? You know why we don't have any issues? Because we don't serve alcohol. We don't serve alcohol, and we don't allow it. That's
All right.
Like
Thank you very much, sir. If you would,
like to
Commissioner
speak.
Granasso, 1 second, please. Councilor Sereno would like to speak.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I apologize. I'm working from home, but I've been following the meeting. Rashid, first off, thank you for the work you guys are doing with the masks. I appreciate that. I was looking forward to having this event in West Revere, but COVID-19 happened. And to defend Commissioner LaCroix, who is also kind of a neighbor to where the event would be happening, obviously I was very supportive at first. And I mean, I continue to be supportive overall. But my position changed between the March and the April meeting. And when I watched last month's meeting, with all due respect, Rashid, you were very, you wanted to have this event in June. I know you said, based on, what social distancing would be like and whatnot, but at the last meeting, you didn't seem to want to push it to the fall. And now I'm glad to hear that, you are willing to postpone it, and we're happy to, remove the date, and I hope they would approve based on, come the fall, what happens. But to go after Commissioner LaCroix, I really do think is unfair. Like I said, my position had changed and nobody else had weighed in. So we didn't know, obviously Chief Guido just did. But, you know, other people's positions could have changed based on COVID-19. I don't think having 1,000 people or even 500 people at the Whalen right now is smart. You know, and with all due respect to my counselor from Ward 2, this is not at the Garfield School. This is at the Whalen School in Ward 6. So thank you. I just wanted to defend Commissioner LaCroix because I do think, you know, don't take it personally. It's true that some of us, our positions did change based on the pandemic and nothing else. So thank you.
Councillor Serino, thank you so much for coming to this meeting. I did not ask for June 20th last month. Even the Boston Renegade, they had a date on their event, which was June 29th.
Okay,
And
thank
I
you.
did not, and we have that meeting recorded. We have it recorded. You could go back and ask and watch it. I did
would
not
like to
ask for June 20th, and they still not ask for June 20th. Since the pandemic started, I did not ask for the permit. They sent me a letter asking me to come to this meeting. I
Okay.
didn't ask. I
gonna
know
move
that
on,
it's
sir.
not time for the meeting.
Sir.
Please,
I know that it's
Please,
not time.
sir, we're gonna move
Can you
along
finish
now.
my sentence?
Maggie, I want to speak.
Commissioner Guanasso,
Okay, I think it's getting a little personal, Commissioner. I
yes,
think
I
that
agree.
whether we want to go ahead and vote this license, and at the time, when he picks his date, we will get all the permits that he needs. I'm sure he's done this before, he's walked through it. And I appreciate everybody's input, but we as a body, that's why we're here, we have to make the decisions, which they can be tough sometimes, but as far as granting this license, I really don't want to hear, and I'm not going to sit here and have any of my colleagues be reprimanded on how they voted, okay?
I would agree.
I would absolutely like to make a motion if there's no other speakers and
All right, let me check for opponents, please. Is there anybody opposed out there? Is there anybody opposed to the festival that would like to speak? I don't see or hear any, so we can move to a motion. Continue, please, Commissioner.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve it for a later date. And we know by saying that before it goes through, he will have to get new approvals from the school, and the Board of Health will inspect, just as we do with the carnivals. We give the license, but then all the other boards will come and check out everything. So I have no problem at this time. I'm going to make a motion to approve this applicant for a later date other than the June 20th, a later date this fall.
Very
Or
good.
date. I'll take the fall out because that, of course, will be by how things are going, and the governor and the mayor of the city. The mayor will have a lot to say also. So I'm going to make a motion to approve for a later date.
I would
Thank
second
you,
that
Mr.
motion.
Rosso.
Would you, Commissioner LaCroix?
So is this contingent upon all the approvals from the various departments? Is that part of the motion?
That's all. That's what we do with all our licenses, Commissioner.
Okay, then I'll.
Very good. So the license is approved. The one-day application for a common victular and entertainment license for the Moroccan American Connections in Revere is approved. The license to be exercised at the Whalen School Park at a later date approved by the health and other regulatory agencies. The event will be the annual Moroccan Cultural Day Festival. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you,
Thank you
commissioners.
so much.
Thank you, commissioners.
Thank you.
Appreciate
so
it.
much.
Thank you. Hi, Rashid.
Thank you.
Take
Take
care,
care. Thank you.
Rashid.
Thank you
Take
so
care.
much. For
Item number 2, Coleman's Corporation, DBA Taqueria Colima, 425 Revere Beach Boulevard. Daniel Diego is the president and manager. This is a application for a transfer of a common victualer's license. The application of Coleman's Corporation, DBA Taqueria Colima, Daniel Diego, president, for the transfer of a license from Shadia's LLC. The license is to be exercised at 425 Revere Beach Boulevard. The requested hours are Sunday through Saturday, 6 a.m. to 2 a.m. The requested seating is 39. The current hours are Sunday through Saturday, 6 a.m. to 2 a.m. with outside seating closed at midnight. Current seating is 15 inside, 24 outside. Is there someone here to speak on behalf of Coleman's Corporation? I don't see anybody or hear anybody.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Oh, yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. How are you doing? I'm the prior owner of the place.
Yeah, well,
Perhaps-
we're doing as well as can be expected. Your name and address for the record, please, sir?
My name is Sam Abdel. And I used to own the business called Wraps on the Beach,
Okay,
which is the location that we're talking about at 425 Revere Beach Boulevard.
yes.
Well, Mr. Chairman and members of the board, it was a pleasure doing business in Revere, but I have a gentleman who is a very nice gentleman, and he has so much experience in the Mexican food. So now we would like to change the use of the business, or basically he purchased the business from me, and he would like to move on and have a Mexican restaurant over there instead of the Middle Eastern or Mediterranean food over there.
Very good. All right.
And
Can we hear from Mr. Diego?
Mr. Diego is right next to me over here. His son, actually, he might be translating for him.
Okay, very good. Can you just explain what he'd like to do at the location?
All right, so the plan is to open a Mexican restaurant.
Okay. Very good. Do any of my fellow commissioners have any questions?
I have a couple of questions. When he says he wants to have a restaurant, I go by there quite a bit. Is this restaurant going to be for indoor eating only, or are you asking for outdoor seating? Because I see the tables are out there. And are you going to be serving food out there?
Yes,
You are. How many tables do you have out there now, sir?
3.
You have 3 tables out there. Okay. And what is the capacity in there? I mean, it just seems as though, oh, you would only have 15 inside and 24 outside?
That's correct.
So how many at the tables outside? You have 3 tables, so what is it, 8 at a table?
Correct.
Those tables don't look like tables of 8.
Let's pray to God that they will fit 8. You know what I mean? But I have no idea. We're imagining that they could fit 8 each one of them.
Yeah, I think you're gonna have a problem there because I have gone by there, you have the tables out there. And to add any more tables, you would basically be going past your property.
That's correct. Yes, we're not willing to add any more, but if you like, you can. I mean, it depends on the size of the person. I mean, if it's a big size person, it would fit 1. But if they are thin people, it would fit 2. Could be 3 also, actually.
Well,
And
I'm just
each section of the seat.
wondering on the, on voting on 24, if we approve outside seating for 24, you want 15 inside, 24 outside. And if we approve that, then that means you actually can put more tables up till you can fit 24 people. So you're gonna say you're staying at 3 tables times 8 people at those small tables?
That is correct. Exactly. We're not asking for any more permits for any more tables outside. The only thing that we're asking for is to keep it as the way how it is. And each round table has like 4 sections for seatings, and each one of those seatings would fit 2 to sit on it. I mean, I tried it myself. So 2, 4, 6, 8 are easily usable on each table. But you know, like we can, if you want to change the language and say, for example, like 24 outside, and they are going to have to fit in only those 3 tables.
Well, we're gonna have to make some kind of stipulation because I can't see that you have any room to put any more tables.
The prior, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but the prior permit was like that. So what we are asking to do is just to transfer the prior permit to the new permit. That's all.
Right, right. And I've called them in before because if there were too many people sitting outside and they were putting seats out there. So, and I think you worked there at the time.
That
The
is
other
correct.
thing is you want outdoor dinner till midnight? I don't
But-
think, we have other restaurants that I believe, maybe my colleagues can help me with that. I think the seating is only till 10 o'clock. Or did we extend that to 11? I'm
You
not too
did-
sure.
That is correct. Actually, the other gentleman who's with you, he allowed us to stay there till 12 o'clock. I know you were against it at the beginning. You were against it till 12 o'clock, but I don't think that. I mean, between us, we know that no one is going to walk over there after midnight or even after 10 o'clock at night. It's just
No,
we're
but
hoping that we can use it.
But you're asking for the seating outside till midnight, and I know we have no outdoor seating after 11 on the beach, so I'm a little concerned about that. So I'd like to hear from my colleagues what they think. This is, you're asking till 2 o'clock and also midnight outside, keeping in mind that the other businesses have come up to extend their outdoor seating, and I don't believe we allowed it. So I'm just trying to be fair, but I would like to hear from my council, my
Yeah.
colleague.
I'm not aware of seating till midnight. I haven't seen it either. So
You are the one who voted for it, actually. I'm sorry to interrupt, but you are the gentleman who voted for it. You are the one who gave us the permit.
seating till midnight outside?
Yes,
Yes,
correct. Yes, because Linda wanted till 10 o'clock, and you went against Linda, actually, and you approved us till 12 o'clock. And I don't think that we had any kind of incidents over there.
I'm sorry.
yes.
Yeah. I apologize if my memory doesn't serve me. Okay, so you're saying that, but it was never approved at the end of the day. What?
It was by you guys.
It was approved, okay.
This seems to be kind of simple. You have the old license, the new gentleman's coming in. He wants to keep everything exactly the same and just change it to a Mexican restaurant. It seems like it's something that we should be able to come to an agreement on.
Commissioner, that's my question, Commissioner. What is the license state now? Does it say 12 o'clock? That's my question.
My recollection that we did give him a 12 o'clock.
We did.
Yes.
Okay,
Well, that's my question.
yeah.
I
And
wanted to just-
I don't remember, to be honest with you.
Councilman McKenna was in, and we kind of back and forth the time that people could live with. And at that moment, 12 o'clock seemed to be a number that everybody was comfortable with. And so we gave the license, and I believe he's had, quite a history with it, and there's been no incidents at all. So I don't see why this transfer couldn't be approved. But
Well, I just like to clarify a couple of things, and also the outdoor seating. Did we give that for a number of months, outdoor seating?
I thought it was-
No.
I don't
Yeah.
remember the number of months, but I know that he's got a limited amount of tables, and those chairs do seat two. Now, the Board of Health may come in and say, you know what, because of the way things are, you can only do one there. So then his seating would be cut down by the Board of Health. But again, this is something that we're approving based upon all things being go, and that other agencies, if they're not go, will make them to a point where they are go, and then we move forward.
Okay.
Follow me, I mean, I don't know.
Okay, so you're saying it was till 12 o'clock, so I'm okay with that if we're not changing the hours. I am concerned about the 24 outside, but as you said, it goes by occupancy. That's the fire department, and they could see because there are driveways on both sides.
Yeah,
So, okay, you cleared my questions. Thank you.
Yeah.
very good. Are there any other proponents out there? Does anybody else want to speak on behalf of this? Seeing and hearing none, I'll close that section. Any opponents? Anybody opposed? I don't see or hear any. We'll close that section. I'll make a motion to approve this. Do you approve the transfer of the common victualers license?
I'll second the motion.
I'll second the motion.
Very good. It's unanimous. The application for a transfer of a common victular license is approved. Coleman's Corporation, DBA Taqueria Colomia. Daniel Diego, president, will be the license holder. The license will be transferred from the common victular license from Shadia LLC. The license is to be exercised at 425 Revere Beach Boulevard. The requested hours are the same as the old license, Saturday 6 a.m. to Sunday, Sunday 6 a.m. to Saturday 2 a.m. and the requested seating is 39. The outside seating will close at midnight, and the seating is limited to 15 inside and 24 outside based upon approval of the appropriate authorities. The license is approved. Thank you, sir.
God bless you. Thank you so much, Chairman. Thank you so much.
Very much. Item number 3.
Yep.
Two Brothers Hospitality LLC, DBA Murray's Tavern, 118 Broadway. John Murray is the proposed manager. This application for transfer of an all-alcohol restaurant license. The application of Two Brothers Hospitality LLC, DBA Murray's Tavern, John Murray's manager, for a transfer of an all-alcohol restaurant license from Speakeasy Sports Bar LLC. Said license to be exercised at 118 Broadway, Revere, Mass. The requested hours of operation are Monday through Saturday, 4 p.m. to 2 a.m. Sunday, 12 p.m. to 10 p.m. The requested seating is 60. The requested entertainment is 6 widescreen cable TVs, radio, live entertainment to consist of no more than 3 pieces of acoustic instruments. Is there someone here on behalf of Two Brothers Hospitality LLC?
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Chairman and members of the commission. Thank you for the opportunity. My name is Jeff Turco. I'm an attorney for the applicant. My office is at 378 Broadway, Chelsea, Massachusetts.
Very good, sir. Can you tell us briefly what your client is planning on for this location?
Yes, and I'm going to try to, oh, there it is, okay. And I have my clients with me as well, which I'll give them an opportunity with your approval to briefly introduce themselves and sort of give you their background. Effectively, the two brothers, Greg Murray lives in Revere. He's been here for 15 years. His brother John lives down on the South Shore in Duxbury. They want to open up a neighborhood tavern here at the old Speakeasy location. We've submitted John's resume in with the application. He has extensive experience in the food service business. Greg Murray professionally runs food services for a major international law firm out of Boston. So both have extensive experience running this type of business. And they wanted to bring something that they thought that Revere was lacking to this area. And so it'll be a small spot. As currently it's licensed for 60. We're looking to keep the hours, the hours of operation, the days. They're looking to keep the same as currently exists. We've included the menu in the application as well to give you an idea of the type of food they're going to have. I think the commission will be excited by John's experience, particularly with in the food and beverage area. He's traveled the world extensively to learn about fine wines. He looks forward to bringing that to the location here as well. We know in the past that the site has had some issues with concern about parking. These guys intend to run a very professional business here. They did, at my request, they sort of walked the area and they estimate there's between 20 and 22 parking spaces between the metered spots on Broadway and the lawful spots on the neighboring streets. And so they intend on, I made it clear to them that there's historically been a problem here with double parking. I made it clear that they're going to do everything in their power to make sure that that doesn't occur here. The other thing I want to tell you, two items that were missing from the application that are waiting from the transfer from the Speakeasy Sports Bar LLC, the good standing from the Department of Revenue. Attorney Joe Catosio, who represents the transferor, told me that that was submitted to the DOR. They were obviously backlogged because of everything going on and limited staffing, but the application was submitted. If it was going to be rejected, they would have rejected the application. He expects that certificate of good standing in a matter of days. Once we get it, we'll immediately submit that to Ms. Haney. Secondly is the certificate of compliance from the DUA. Again, Attorney Catrosio and myself both were in touch with DUA to sort of, they're inundated right now with everything going on. They're working through getting that done. So we expect that that'll be issued in the near future. So once we get to that point, assuming we satisfy the commission's questions, we'd be asking you to approve the application subject to us submitting those two documents to Ms. Haney to complete the file.
Thank you, Counselor. Yes, Commissioner Guanasso.
Just a couple of questions to Jeff, please. He's going to make it a restaurant. Can you tell us what type of food he's going to serve?
Yes. So we submitted the proposed menu on the with this appetizers. I'll just read you some of them that are listed here. A lot of it's going to be Neapolitano pizza, but appetizers: baked stuffed lobster tail, shrimp cocktail, baked goat cheese dip, Murray sliders, falafel bites, yesterday's leftover egg roll, avocado bean sprouts. Shareable dishes will be pan-seared sea scallops, sliced open roast beef, tenderloin of beef, braised short ribs, various seafood items as well. And if you want, I can have Mr. Murray sort of elaborate on what his thought is when he put together the menu. They've done some actually extensive marketing research as well in the area, going so far as even the design itself that's going to be on the outside of the building of the logo was professionally designed by an outside consultant based on what they think this market will call for.
What time do you think they're going to have the kitchen open till? Do you know what time they'll be serving till?
If I may turn to Mr. Murray, and he'd be better to, John, if you want to.
Good afternoon, everybody. This is John Murray, Greg's younger brother. Just kidding. We're probably going to have the kitchen open till 10 or 11. We're going to kind of see how things go, certainly with COVID, the restrictions, and what we can do for takeout. But we'd like to keep the kitchen open till 10 or 11, and then on Friday and Saturday nights, 11, and maybe even 11:30. There's a lot of people that work in the industry, people that are working those second shifts that are looking for a place to have a bite to eat, 10:30, 11:30 at night. And that's probably the kitchen hours, and then the bar will be accordingly.
Okay, so you're looking for more of a family crowd there?
Oh, definitely.
Where we're going with this?
Absolutely family crowd. We want to appeal to couples, families. Young ladies want to come in as a group. The guys want to come in and have a couple of beers. We want to be, me and Greg always wanted to be that quintessential neighborhood restaurant. We want to bring that back. It seems like a lot of those neighborhood family restaurants have kind of gone by the by, and we want to bring that back. That's our forte. That's our passion. We come from a big family of 7 kids. We want to make it a family place.
I think as Mr. Turco remembers, we had Reardon's restaurant. And that's kind of what, it's like a little family place. You could go there, have a pizza, something light to eat, and know everybody, So the entertainment, you're saying 3 pieces, meaning?
Well, that's max. A lot of times we might just have a gentleman or a young lady just playing a guitar, just as some nice background music for dinner music. And then maybe we might have a couple of pieces with the guitar, and it could be, it could be a couple of others. It could be a violin. It could be a small piano, all acoustic, no amplifiers, just very low key, not even very loud. It's more background music while people are eating and entertaining themselves.
So we're not looking at a 3-piece band or anything?
No rock and roll 3-piece bands or amplifiers, absolutely not.
Okay, and I think Attorney Turco also said that the parking, there's 22 parking spots there, did you say?
Between 20 and 22, I had Mr. Murray walk the area yesterday between the parking spaces on Broadway, the metered spaces, and then in the neighborhood that are sort of not resident-only parking, approximately 20 to 22.
Oh, okay, thank you, because that's a big concern of the neighbors. They've had problems with the parking. Okay, I'll turn it over to my colleagues. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner LaCroix, do you have any questions?
Yeah, just a few. So my understanding that Speakeasy establishment for many years has been more of a sports bar, not significant entertainment venue. Now it's switching over to, it sounds like a more entertainment. I know it's acoustic, probably, not hard rock music, but the neighbors, it's a very, very, tight neighborhood. So I'm wondering if that's been taken into consideration. That's going to be a significant change for the neighborhood in terms of maybe the volume of people that are coming and going for the restaurant, and even the music may last till 10, 11, even though it's not going to be really, loud music, but it is music, which I'm wondering if I'd like to hear back, from the new owners here, if they're taking that into consideration.
John?
Sure, we absolutely have. And, having entertainment in a lot of other places, and especially in neighborhoods, I've worked in a lot of different neighborhoods and cities and towns around Eastern Mass. And we always take that into consideration with the neighborhood and traffic. And we're going to be policing the outside activity. We want to be that good neighbor. So taking that into consideration, the music we're going to be playing here, like I said, it's going to be very low key. It's not going to be like a couple people coming in here. They don't have a following of like 200 people that are going to follow them here. These are just probably some local musicians that want to come in and play a little background music for, I guess, maybe on a Thursday, Friday night, maybe a Friday, Saturday. And taking that into consideration, we will put our restaurant in the area, because we want to be that neighbor. We want to be just like I will be living here primarily. So it's like I'll be part of the neighborhood, and I'll get to know all the neighbors personally. And if they have any concerns, I'm sure they'll come to me, or if they say a lot of people out back, or we'll make sure we keep a good eye on that.
Thank you. That was one question I had on that.
Chief Gotno, did you want to weigh in on this? I don't hear him. I thought he raised his hand. Okay. Yes, sir. Chief?
Yeah, Rob, I'm here. No, I have no objections. I'm sure it sounds like this will be less problems than the speakeasy was. The sports bar, when there was games, generated large crowds, sporting events. This seems like it'll be a level type of patrons going in and out instead of big rushes. So I think it might actually work out better for the neighborhood.
Thank you very much, Chief. Yes, Attorney Turco, I just have a couple of questions about the access and egress. Are people going to be entering and exiting on the side or in the front, or how is that going to work?
This is going to be the primary exit, right?
Primary
entrance.
primary exit.
I'll have my client talk specifically.
Yeah, I always like to believe that we have one entrance, one exit, so we can keep an eye on who's coming and going. If you have too many exits, it's hard to monitor your business. So I personally believe the front door will be the entrance and exit mostly. That's for sure.
Okay.
Handicap accessibility through the rear.
The back door. That'll be correct.
So that will be used for handicap accessibility.
Okay, very good. And so that would be my concern would be that if there is, if you guys do start to do well and you start to have some crowds, monitoring, who's coming and going out both doors, we need to consider having an access and egress plan. That's really what the reason why I raised it. And I don't have any other questions. Are there any other proponents out there? Is anybody else that'd like to speak on behalf of this? I don't see or hear any. We'll close that section. Are there any opponents? Is there anybody opposed to this? I don't see or hear any. We'll close that section. I don't have a problem with this. I think it's a great thing for the area. So I'd be inclined to make a motion to approve. Commissioner, did you want to say something?
I was going to make a motion to approve,
Very
Commissioner.
good. Would you like to make the motion? Go ahead.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, very good. I'll second it.
I'll second that as well.
Great. The application is unanimous for the transfer of an all alcohol restaurant license to Two Brothers Hospitality LLC, DBA Murray's Tavern, John Murray, manager. The license will be transferred from Speakeasy Sports Bar LLC The said license will be exercised at 118 Broadway, Revere. The requested hours of operation are Monday through Saturday, 4 p.m. to 2 a.m., Sunday, 12 p.m. to 10 p.m. The requested seating is 60. The requested entertainment is 6 widescreen cable TVs, radio, and live entertainment to consist of no more than 3 pieces. Acoustic music.
Commissioner, can we just make sure that we do get that paperwork that hasn't been filed? I think he said the DOR, is it? And
Yes, there's a couple certificates from DUA and DOR, which are contingent on the approval as well.
Oh,
So
thank you.
as long as we get those and those are in good shape, we'll approve the license.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for the
Licenses.
opportunity. We're excited for
Thank you.
the opportunity.
Thank you very much. We look forward to coming down for some nice meals.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Very good. Take care. Be well.
Good luck.
Easy.
All right, thank you.
That concludes that one. That concludes the applications. The next items are communications. We have communication from the Massachusetts Alcoholic Beverage Control Commission order regarding delinquency reporting period. Credit terms are extended. That's, if you know what it means, then that's good, because I really don't, but.
Yeah.
And then a letter from the attorney representing Brothers Auto Body concerning the non-renewal of the Class 2 motor vehicle dealer's license. Basically, the attorney is asking for us to approve the license in lieu of, because it's been delayed so many times, or he said he has no problem with a Zoom hearing. So my inclination would be to grant him a Zoom hearing at our next meeting, but I'll listen to whatever you guys want to talk about that.
I would go along with the Zoom
Yeah.
meeting. I don't think we're ready to vote on it.
Oh, I agree. I'm
Doing the license.
not ready to vote on that.
Right, so we would put it on for the next meeting where we'd have the hearing? Is
Yes,
that what we're gonna do?
Yeah.
Very good. So I make a motion that we bring this forward at the next meeting where we have a hearing to discuss the non-renewal of the Class 2 motor vehicle license of Brothers Auto Body.
okay.
I'll second.
That's approved. That is the end of the items on the agenda. I would make a motion that we approve the next, we adjourn until the next meeting, which, let me just check and see when that is.
That would be the
June,
June 17th.
17th.
Looks
Very
like.
good. Well, I'll make a motion that we adjourn to the next meeting of the License Commission, which will be June 17th, 2020.
Okay.
I'll second the motion.
The motion is approved. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much, commissioners.
Thank you.